obviously a game where we were outplayed, outcoached. And again, this is why Minnesota is one of the top 3 teams in the league right now, is their execution at the offensive end, their tempo, their screening, their physicality. It's just really been impressive all year to watch against everybody. And, they're stepping up without even their best player now, and just continuing that. They have such good pros in that locker room that they are very professional about what they do. And I thought that we responded out of halftime. We held them to 12 baskets in the second half, and I thought there was a more of a desire, a fight, a physicality that we started to match more. Obviously, it's hard to keep that level up the whole game by Minnesota, so we were benefits of a little bit of that. But you got to give our players credit. But the question is why did it take taking a haymaker in that first quarter to respond when all we've talked about is their execution, their physicality. And again, our turnovers against a very good defensive team crept up tonight. Some were self-inflicted, some were, just simply disappointing reads, because it's the 3rd time we've played them, and we knew some of the things that we wanted to look for, and we couldn't execute to what we had planned trying to go into this game.
Coach, the team kind of struggled a bit from 3 for 20. Is it just a matter of shots not going down, or is there something about those looks that kind of caused that percentage to be so low?
Yeah, I'll go back and look at the tape. I thought we took a few difficult ones off the dribble, but we have to convert and make open threes. As I tell you, last game, on uncontested shots, around the top of the key, and even just inside, straight away, inside the arc, above the foul line, we were 2 for 20 on uncontested shots the other night. So another night where, again, you can throw out some of the difficult, maybe off the dribble shots that are lower percentage, but we missed a lot of uncontested shots again. And this is a make or miss league. You have to make shots. These guys, I've got to stay confident, and you can tell it's in their head right now that they're missing uncontested shots. I don't know if we dropped, but we've been in the top 4 in shot quality this year for a lot of the season, meaning we're executing to quality shots. But this group's got to be able to make those. Now, sometimes, the adage, right? There's a reason you're open. Some of these guys are being left open on purpose because the opponents and the coaching staffs that are scheming can see the unconfidence that some of them have, and they've got to shoot their way out of it. There's no way to get out of a slump. Then they've just got to keep shooting, and I've got to work to see if they're good shots, they're quality shots, and are we executing? They have to find some confidence within themselves. They got to see it go through the hoop.
Coach, after the Mercury game, you essentially told me and everybody else in here that if the team didn't play well, they could lose by 20 plus against the Lynx. Final box score you didn't, but at some point you're down by 25 in the 3rd quarter. How does this happen when you know that this is the possibility, and you've, inferred and preached that to the team? So they know that worst case scenario, you can get blown out.
Yeah, again, that's what they do to everybody, and that's how good their execution and tempo is. And I'm not sure we are ready for the physicality and fight. And as much as you preach it, they have to have a desire when they walk out there. And again, they just didn't have it tonight. It's my job to pull it out of them, and have them ready. I thought, as a 3rd time going into the game, 1st time at home, that we had a good game plan and an understanding of how they have hurt us in the first 2 games. But they outplayed us, they out executed us, and they certainly probably you would have to say outcoached us because no matter how much we talked about it, they did what we were fearful that they could do.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, at what point did you realize it was your confidence, and at what point in the game did you know it was gonna be a long night?
Yeah, again, in games, this league is a game of runs. So I'm not sure I ever thought that we weren't going to make a significant run at them. I used a couple early timeouts to try to challenge our team. Like we've got to stay in contention now, or it's going to get away from us. So I was very hopeful that we could settle in and let the game settle in, let us settle in, and that we would make some runs. But obviously, when you're down 16 at halftime, it's not insurmountable, but certainly that locker room, is disappointed when we walk in at halftime.
Hi, Coach. I'm Dayla Davis with FI 360. And after the game on Sunday, you mentioned that you're more worried about the team playing to their standards rather than the wins and losses. What are those standards that you've emphasized to the team that you hope to be translated into today's game?
Yeah, I think today's a great, learning lesson for us because it's a copycat league, right? It's a 24-second shot clock. A lot of us run the same offensive sets, but no one's playbook mirrors ours more than theirs, or ours mirrors theirs. Like literally all their high run plays, we have the exact same plays in our playbook. Like literally, when I tell you guys, we're running the same things that they're running, but you didn't have to sit out there and ask yourself who is running their stuff better, crisper, more physical, faster, sharing the ball more. We were running the same exact type of plays. It's a great learning lesson for us that we can learn from them on. It's not plays, it's the execution of plays. It's the little things that go into those plays. They are so crisp. They run their stuff so hard. They are fast in short areas, which is always a preaching point of me. We have to be explosive in short areas within our actions, and they are the definition of that. Their tempo is outstanding. It's really fun to witness and watch them. It's not necessarily always fun to coach against them right now because of how well they're executing.
Two more, DJ.
Hey, Coach DJ from Infinity TV. We beat Vegas 2 times, and after that second Vegas win, you were just saying, in the WNBA, it's funny like that. Sometimes you just have better matchups. Would you say, from your opinion at this point, that Minnesota is just the opposite of that, and they're constantly the matchup to beat for us?
Yes, for us, with a younger team, that at times relaxes on defense when they think they're out of maybe a scoring action. And you just have to have 5 people constantly engaged defensively and flowing to actions and moving towards actions when they're not in necessarily the scoring action. If not, they move you and they move you and they move you. So this matchups is difficult for us. This league's funny like that. There's just matchups that are better. In Connecticut, it was one of those things. I had a team that matched up well with Minnesota. When I left Connecticut, I had probably, I think I read this somewhere, the best career record against Cheryl Reeve. And we have not won a game against Minnesota since I arrived here now. So that no longer exists, but we've had a bunch of success against them. But again, those were really, really locked in defensive teams in Connecticut, and I'm trying to build that here with that same defensive intensity.
Coach, you talked about the players and just, things that they have to do and they have to figure out. Just as a coach, how frustrated are you, or what things do you think you can do better to kind of get through to them to make sure that they're not having the slippage and being where they need to be, playing how hard they need to play, and even making sure they knock down the shots?
Yeah, the effort is the frustrating thing, right? Again, with a young and a building, I've done this everywhere I've gone. There's growing pains. There's nights where, you don't play well. It's just not your night. There's nights where you can get up and how consistent you can be like that. And when you're in the build is, all part of it. So, I know, and again, injuries, illness, people in and out of lineups. Again, Steph's our energy person. Steph has been in the starting lineup. All of a sudden now Steph basically has missed 2 games in a row. And so we lose that toughness. We lose that extra passer. We lose that extra glue kid. It's all part of it. But you got to keep stepping up, when you have adversity. And so we had more adversity tonight. We get Azare back and going, but then you lose Steph. So again, more of my frustration is physicality, is toughness, is effort, because those things I don't want to coach. I just want them to be consistent every night, and we need them. We talk about the margin in here a lot between winning or losing for us. Our margin is different than a bunch of teams in this league, and so you have to every night bring your toughness, your energy, your physicality. And we got out toughed, we got out physical tonight. Our energy wasn't as high as theirs in the first quarter, which set us back. And, and then, I obviously got out coached because I wasn't able to push those buttons soon enough. And again, they put their starters back in, they played, we held them to 12 baskets in the second half. We outscored them in the second half, but that's just, things you can talk and try to gain confidence out of the players. But in reality, we need to talk about that first quarter and why was it the way it was.
Hi, this Judo Kanye Sandberg man. This question is for Dearica. First of all, congratulations on your 3,000th point tonight. I'm just curious about someone as the leader of the team. Obviously Minnesota came in with the first punch and it kind of sent you guys back in this game. But as someone that is a leader of this team, what is your responsibility in creating that, grit and aggression day in and day out from the Sparks?
For me, it's just leading by example. I got to start with the toughness and the physicality from the start of the game. More so, as a pro, you kind of learn yourself, but when you have to lead, I think I have to be more intentional about the tone that I set from the beginning. Like it may work for me, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. So just being more intentional.
For Azare, probably wanted your return to the court to go a little differently, the past 2 games, but just, in general, how are you feeling kind of being back out there, and what are you seeing in terms of where you think improvement can be?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously, it's a condensed season, so I've had reps in practice, but we don't really practice too much. So I'm still getting used to just the physicality of the game, incorporating my arm in that. And obviously, I haven't played in a few months, so just getting my footing back and that type of stuff. So that can be frustrating at times, but I think it just starts with us defensively. Offense is going to come and go. Some nights you might not hit shots, but defense is something that you can control. So that's something that we've really just been trying to harp on and keep reiterating, because we know that in order to win, we're going to have to stop teams, regardless of if the ball's going in or not.
Questions for Dearica. Both you and Azare hit 2 of the 3 3-pointers. The team shot 3 for 20. They kind of struggled from there. I know obviously you're more of an inside player, less on the perimeter, but obviously you're involved in a lot of those actions. For you, what are the best 3-point looks that are possible, so that way that percentage can go up, since the volume seems like it's appropriate?
I would prefer to be shooting uncontested, but I feel like all my threes this year have been contested side steps. But playing with Azare and even Cam just allows the flexibility. We're talking about that throughout the game. You roll this possession, I'll rise, or you have more of the mismatch, you dive, I pop. So having that flexibility makes it easier for your offense in general, but for me personally, and then we're capable. I'm shooting a good percentage from the 3 this year, and she has consistently too.
Hey, DJ from Infinity TV. This question is for the both of you. Dearica, from your perspective, we're going into a break. Well, you don't have much of a break with All-Star and then, the Olympics, and then Azare, same. So we got a little bit of a break where the team can rest and recuperate. What are some things going into this break that you want to see on the other side, right? We've had some losses here. We're regrouping. We're working through it. What are some things that we're going to work on through the break that we can see on the other side?
I think for everybody, minus myself, just some relaxation, getaway, mental break. I'm gonna take a little break too, but I think everybody just take some days off, don't think about basketball, and then get back to it. Get back here, start getting ready for the second half of the season. We can still make a push for playoffs. I
Yep.
know it doesn't seem like that, but we can. Like honestly,
Yeah.
yeah, like so much can change over the course of the second half of the season. And so really just locking in when we get back, we'll have some time to like really practice and get reps together, which I think is important too. Obviously, like it's my second game back, so just getting used to some of the newer players is only gonna happen with reps. And then
Yeah, and I would say, like you said, there's not that much practice, so being able to get our younger players in and just build confidence, see the ball go in, so we can be a little bit more efficient offensively and consistently.
Okay, thank you.
With everything that Coach Miller was telling us before this game about how it could go, he was telling us after the Mercury game that, if the team didn't play well, you could lose by 20 plus. And I'm sure he told you some variation of how hard you would have to play against the Lynx. With all of that said, like, when you have that messaging, how would you kind of assess why the team may have started slow in the first quarter where this game starts to get out of hand?
Personally, I think just like lack of experience, and I mean, there's a few players on this team that have won championships, but overall in this league, there hasn't been a ton of success individually, or individually with the young team. They haven't obviously played. But I mean, Curt has had success, and we gotta. I mean, they're giving us the game plan, and he's not perfect all the time, but we're the 5 on the floor. So we have to show up at the end of the day. Like he can only do so much and prep us so much. And we gotta start believing in ourselves, trusting ourselves, and trust his plan. Last question,
Dearica, we hear Coach, he talked about toughness. You mentioned toughness as well. When you can't really get on the practice floor and you deal with the injuries and things like that, how can you get that out of your teammates to help you guys going forward?
I think toughness comes from believing in yourself. So like I said, the confidence that they can build in this little break. But also it's just a passion and a heart thing. And you can't really teach that. But I think once you start having confidence in yourself, it kind of translates. You want to be physical. You want to get up and show that you can defend. You want to do the extra things that we just don't have that right now.
thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.